the live stream here. My boy, my co-host Philly Jim, as usual, every Wednesday, covering every single week, every opponent that we're facing. How you doing, Philly Jim? What's going on, man?
I'm doing pretty good, sir. Thanks for having me up here.
So, after we've already talked about Sunday's game against the Falcons, we don't really want to reminisce too much in that. But
Yeah.
so far, how has the week gone as the days have been going on? And after, let's go over the injury report. If you want to
Yep.
start off with this injury report and kind of see what's going on.
All right. So the injury report is pretty damn long. When I first saw the injury report, I was like, holy shit. Because it looks like I've been pretty sick this week. So I went to CVS. And when I went to CVS, they always print out like a long ass receipt. This injury report looked like a receipt from CVS. It looked like an essay with all these names on it. Corey Clement hurt his shoulder. He did not practice. Dallas Goedert did not practice. Deshaun Jackson did not practice. Alshon Jeffrey did not practice. Tim Jernigan did not practice. Jordan Mailata did not practice. Derek Barnett was limited. Fletcher Cox limited. Jonathan Cyprin limited. Nathan Gary limited. Rudy Ford limited. Camus Grugier-Hill will be back soon, but probably not this week. More likely for Thursday against the Packers. Limited, and Nate Sudfeld was a full participant. And that's pretty much the injury report for Wednesday.
Okay, so we all know that Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey are not going to. We have a double whammy next week because not only do we have to play Sunday at home against Detroit, but we have to go to Lambeau. We're going to Lambeau on Thursday night, right? We're going to Lambeau. Okay, just making sure. We have to go play Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers Thursday night following that Sunday game. So we're not going to have Alshon Jeffrey or Deshaun Jackson for 2 weeks. So we're going to be looking up some guys like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, guys like, Matt Collins to really step up in this wide receiver group. So I'm hoping just to get your take on it, but I really hope that, Jaws has got some reps with Carson Wentz because in that Falcons game, it really looked like they were just not in sync with each other at all. So we all know Matt Collins. Matt Collins actually, had a few good catches in that game where they mattered the most. And we know what Matt Collins could do since, in 2017, every chance that he got in the game, he always made something huge of it. But he's starting to get back to hopefully what he once was. And, we're lucky to have him as the backup receiver. But what do you see going into this game against Detroit on Sunday, and who really has to step up this Sunday?
Everybody. We need some of everybody to step up. It's going to take. Detroit is not a pushover. Detroit, they beat the Chargers on Sunday, and they forced some turnovers in the red zone. That's really what won them the game against the Chargers, who have a pretty good offense, have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and all kinds of guys, even without Melvin Gordon. But it's going to take a team effort. Like you said, the young guys, we need J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to step up. We saw what he did in the preseason against Baltimore. Really had some big catches, really showed flashes of the kind of player he can be. Had really good offseason. Mac Hollins had some big catches too in the Falcons game. And Nelson Aguilar, Nelson Aguilar, if he hauls in that pass, we win the game. We need him to rise to the occasion. He's pretty much going to be the top wide receiver. You still have Zach Ertz, though. That is one good thing. Zach Ertz was really beating himself up after the game because he didn't quite get to the sticks on his route. He pretty much said he thought it was all his fault, which we know it wasn't all his fault, but I really think Zach Ertz can attack the middle of this Detroit Lions defense. I think that's where their biggest weakness is. But one thing I really want to see in this game is relying on this offensive line. Talk about all the injuries we have at skill positions, but you know what? Our entire offensive line is healthy. We do not have any injuries on our offensive line. Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders and Darren Sproles are still there. I'm looking for these guys to get more touches than they've been getting. Or more touches than they got in the previous game. I need to see this offensive line just take over, established run game, and then everything else I think will fall into place.
Yeah, we need to start that run game. We need to have a nice balanced game on Sunday, and we have too many running backs. I mean, our Corey Clement's out 1 to 2 weeks, of course, but he really wasn't a big factor in the games recently. Anyway, he really hasn't been. He's been more that special teamer. They really haven't been putting him in a lot. And Jordan Howard's been getting the carries, and Miles Sanders got a shit ton of reps on Sunday night. So
Mm-hmm.
we literally need to run the football. We really have to, and it opens up more of the pass. And we'll see what happens. But Detroit Lions are fully healthy. Okay, full healthy team coming into the link with a decimated Eagles, pretty much offense and defense right now. And we need to see what happens, but I just hope Doug has a game plan, which I know he does, but it must have been really hard, even Sunday night, not to go back to this game so much. But when we
Yeah.
lost all these players before the game, even barely when the game even started,
Yep.
Doug had to change his whole game plan. Like passes to Deshaun Jackson or certain plays that were meant for certain players couldn't go to those players because we can't do it with the other guys that we do have. So the whole game plan, we were trying to find a rhythm, and we didn't find it until pretty much the second half of the game. So I really hope I don't see a slow start on Sunday. I have a feeling we're going to in some aspect, maybe hopefully not a whole entire half, but I'm
Yep.
hoping that he can just get this rolling because we can't afford to really do this. And honestly, we all know what it. We all know in our hearts what this offense could do. But the problem is, if we were at least getting Deshaun Jackson back, or getting one of the two back, even Alshon Jeffrey or Deshaun Jackson, one of the two, then I'd have a little bit more faith in this offense. A little bit, at least something would be out there. But it looks like Carson's going to have another week where he's going to try his hardest to get these get the ball to the receivers, and hopefully this chemistry is up to par right now. So um, we're just gonna have to find out. But I'm really hoping JJ
Yeah.
Ortega-Whiteside is out there and doing his thing. He really needs to step up. I know in preseason he made some good plays, but he needs to step up and as we all know, on top of everything else, Doug Peterson did like a walkthrough today, didn't really
Yep.
not really doing any hard practices because of these injuries, which I don't really blame him at all. I think me and you talked about earlier that we really don't blame him for doing that. I mean, there's really no point. I think the only work they really have to do is between quarterback to receiver chemistry. I know it doesn't take I know it takes a whole off season. This is why you have the off season, OTAs, mini camp, training camp, to get your whole offense ready for the season. So hopefully, this time by 1 o'clock on Sunday we'll see hopefully a more ready team with the guys that are already in there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you just talk about how all the injuries, like it just seemed like everybody was dropping like flies in this game. So, anytime you lose to your top guys and you got to change your whole game plan on the fly like that, makes it very difficult. So, I'm looking to see something better, but the offense they have to get going. We gotta start fast. We cannot afford to come out like we have the last two games, because if we do that, the Detroit Lions have the upper hand. I think the Detroit Lions offense can attack this defense, mainly the secondary with Ronald Darby out there. I think Kenny Galladay can do some damage to Ronald Darby. And
Mm-hmm.
Marvin Jones is a good deep threat receiver as well.
Oh yeah.
Kerryon Johnson out of the backfield. He can make things happen. He can catch the ball well. He had some big plays in that Chargers game coming out of the backfield. So he's a threat. And also don't sleep on the rookie tight end, TJ Hawkinson. He had his first game, welcome to the NFL. He had over 130 receiving yards. So they can do some damage. So starting slow is completely out of the question. And we got to get rolling early. I don't blame Doug for not having practice after all the shit that's been going on. It was probably the best thing to do. Take it easy. And just do something tomorrow and get these guys ready to play.
Yeah, I think this game on Sunday, especially it being home, it's going to give the guys a little bit more. There'll be more excitement. You know what I mean? Not like I think they're self motivated. I think even Malcolm Jenkins said in his last press conference said that they're going to get back to where they were. It's just they're at a little bit of a slump right now, and it's just because of everybody dropping like flies. And I think having this home game in front of everybody, in front of the home fans, it's going to give them a little spark, a little bit extra juice in the tank, sort of say, and hopefully do some good things with that. So to be home is definitely a plus. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. But we just have to see this offense rolling. And yeah, I'm really worried about this cornerback position. I'm really worried about Ronald Darby not really covering these speed guys going downfield. Worried about defensive line. Worried about who the hell is lining up next to Fletcher Cox. I mean, really, I think all they did really this week. I think they signed. I think they signed Craig James back up to the. I think they added another corner back to the active roster. Craig James, we already talked about him in the last stream last week, but he's just an extra guy. God forbid, just in case something happens. But I don't really expect him to do anything whatsoever. So we're light at corner. We're light at defensive tackle now, and Jim Schwartz is just going to have to be creative. So I don't know if he's going to dial in, more blitzes like he did this past Sunday night, or he can move a few players on the defensive line. Maybe line up a defensive end at defensive tackle, which they've done it. They did it in the Super Bowl. They've done it in other games as well. Lining up Brandon Graham as a defensive tackle. So I don't know why they wouldn't do it. I don't know how the Lions. The only thing I really haven't looked at too much is the Lions' offensive line and how good they are.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure about that at all right now. But they can't just line up by position. They're going to have to be creative, do some stunts with defensive linemen, peel back and hit another gap or do something to catch everybody off guard. But I'm not really sure what they're going to do. I don't know if this offensive line for the Lions is elite. I highly doubt it. But Jim just has to be creative and do some things.
I was just gonna say with the defensive line, I hope some of these young guys get to play. I want to see Deshaun Hall, and I want to see Sharif Miller. I want to see him mix it up. If I was Jim Schwartz, given all these injuries, I would move Brandon Graham around a little bit. I would let Brandon Graham play in the interior of the D line. Let him play a little bit of defensive tackle. Still let him play edge, but move him around some. That's what I always talk about with Jim Schwartz, getting players that can play multiple positions, getting Avonte Maddox, moving him around the secondary, get Brandon Graham in the Super Bowl. He lines up at defensive tackle, and he gets right past the guard, and he gets to Tom Brady, strip sack, and we all remember that play. So I think that just goes with what you're saying. Can Jim Schwartz move these guys around and make them do what they got to do? These young guys, I think, could do something. Like Deshaun Hall, I think he could really do some damage. We just haven't seen him on the field that much yet. So that's kind of something I'm looking out for with the defense anyway.
Yeah, it's all about creativity, because when you have holes on the defensive side or holes on the offensive side, you have to be creative and work all these players to their strengths and kind of get them into the right spots. And that's why these coaches are here. Get these players in the right spots to win a football game. So we'll see what happens. But since the looming cornerback position right now is all Philadelphia is not really happy about it right now. There's a lot of rumors right now, and we all know what's going on. So you have Jalen Ramsey already requested a trade a couple days ago, and there's already teams interested in the mix. Seems like the Eagles are interested, as well as the Kansas City Chiefs, Seattle Seahawks.
Yep.
When you think about Jalen Ramsey, what comes to your mind as him as a cornerback, or him as his personality on the field, or both together?
A lot of things come to mind. Well, the first thing is he's the best in the league at what he does. He's the best corner in the league. He can take away entire side of the field. Just last week, the Eagles had a night game, so I was just flipping around watching different games. I was watching a Houston Texans game, and DeAndre Hopkins is one of the best receivers in the NFL. And he, week in and week out, he wreaks havoc on defenses. And Jalen Ramsey is just out there strapping him. Jalen Ramsey is physical. Jalen Ramsey is not like most cornerbacks. He, on a third and short, he can run up and he can knock the shit out of somebody, make a big tackle. He's not afraid to play physical. He's not afraid to hit. He has a lot of swagger. He has a lot of attitude. He had a problem on the sideline with his coaches. He's hot headed. So that's something that we would have to deal with if he comes here. But I think we have guys in the locker room that are good leaders that can kind of contain a personality like that. Guys like Fletcher Cox, guys like Malcolm Jenkins, Carson Wentz, Lane Johnson, the list goes on. But Jalen Ramsey coming to Philadelphia would be huge for this team. And honestly, I wouldn't hesitate about giving up multiple draft picks for him.
So what the Jaguars want, they want 2 first-round picks. Now, nobody has even offered close to that. I think the closest that was even offered was a first round for 2020 and a 5th rounder.
Yep.
Now, I know me and you would be like right off, like on the money. I know me and you would say just give them 2 first-round picks and get this deal done, because you're, like you said to me earlier today, like you're not going to find a corner in this draft. It's really hard to find these guys, and not even just his playmaking ability, but like I said, like DeAndre Hopkins, 24 yards, held him to 24 yards the whole game. I mean, that's just absolutely amazing. Half of me is saying get him. The other half of me is wanting to do reverse psychology and say we're not going to get him, but knowing or wishing that we did get him. So, like, I don't want to believe it so much, but do I believe that the Eagles were definitely in on Minkah Fitzpatrick before the Steelers, got him for, gave away a first-round pick? I know for a fact they were, but Minkah Fitzpatrick was just a slot corner and played safety, but you're getting an outside guy. And that's what I said to you, like, from last stream. I said, Minkah's good, but we really need an outside guy, because in the future, I think we'll be set at the slot corner position, having Crevon LeBlanc in there. But you have to get Jalen Ramsey. You really do. I mean, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. I don't want to get our hopes up either. It's exciting to see that the Eagles are interested. And I mean, obviously, I'd be disappointed if the Eagles had no interest whatsoever in this whole entire thing. It just makes no sense at all. And I see people saying he's going to be too expensive. And I've even said he's going to be expensive. But you know what? Philly Jim, we talked earlier, yesterday about this, and you kind of changed my mind a little bit, because you know what? We've been ignoring this position for a long time. And now people are like, oh, well, we drafted Sidney Jones. But Sidney Jones, we drafted in the 2nd round coming off an Achilles injury that he was still injured that year, couldn't even play. He didn't play till the last game of the season against the Cowboys, where it didn't matter at all.
Yeah.
But I know we kind of been past this stage where we don't want to pick up free agent corners. Like, stay away from them. Every time they come here, they don't play well. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to, but this is a whole different story. And plus, this is Doug Peterson now. This isn't Chip Kelly anymore. So we could get past that stage. But when you talk about Jalen Ramsey, he loves getting into a wide receiver's head. He's got that swagger. He talks a lot of shit. He's got that blue-collar mentality. He is just one-of-a-kind type guy, and he never backs down. If he could defend DeAndre Hopkins to 24 yards, and I know he could do a lot more. He could defend, Antonio Brown. This is what you're going to need at the end of the year, to face the Patriots. This is what you're going to need to face these other teams, because it's just not going to get more easy down the stretch with what at all. And you need to figure it out, because I don't trust Ronald Darby. The most I trust is Rasul Douglas. That's actually that's playing right now. And until
Yeah.
Jalen Mills comes off PUP, week 8 or whatever they decide to do with Jalen Mills, it is what it is right now. We have to deal with what we have. I think Avonte Max is a good player. I think Rasul Douglas is a physical player. I've seen on Twitter about Sidney Jones. There were people that do these play all. Well, Sidney Jones held Julio Jones to, he did really good on this play, and he did, he was physical with him off the line, but there's no consistency. That's the issue. As a corner, you have to be consistent. Now, I'm not saying that Jalen Ramsey has to be like, he's not going to allow one for 6 yards. It is what it is. You win some, you lose some, but most of the time he wins his matchups. And this is the why he doesn't want to be in Jacksonville because Doug Marrone has literally never let him barely take his guy man on man. And that's what he wants. So like if he comes to the Philadelphia Eagles, Jim Schwartz will be like, hey, you do whatever the hell you want out there. You take whoever the hell you want and let him just go free and let him do his thing because that's where his strength is. His strength is man to man.
Mm-hmm.
So this, it's so interesting. Like I said, I'd be very disappointed if the Eagles were not interested in Jalen Ramsey. But like I said, Minka Fitzpatrick, they were in the mix for it, but they weren't like going hard. But like you said to me earlier today, I think they really, really want him. And you know what? You have the Kansas City Chiefs that really have no corners. Seattle Seahawks does not have a superstar in the secondary at all. But the Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't even worry about the money so much. We have to invest in this position. It's time now. It's not about like whoever's been here longer and these guys have been together for a long time, and it doesn't matter anymore because once you lose that, I said before the season started, I said as long as our defensive line does not get hurt, our corners will not get exposed. And I know our corners ain't shut down. Some of our corners aren't even above average. They're average. Every corner we have is average, pretty much. But as of right now, you cannot miss this opportunity to get a guy like this. And don't talk about the money and how expensive. I know he's going to be expensive. You know he's going to be expensive. Everybody knows he's going to be expensive. But Howie Roseman knows how to move money around. I'm not even worried about the cap situation.
Yeah.
What do the Eagles have now? They have 13, 14, whatever the hell it is. He can move the money around, okay? And you think if he asks the player to restructure his contract, do you not think the player is going to be like, oh, yeah, no problem?
Oh, yeah, they will.
Of course they will. Of course they will restructure their contract because if it's towards winning and getting to that goal and playing in that game in February, that's all that matters. So as of right now, go get him.
Yeah.
Go get him right now.
Yeah, I just want to go over like I just want to make two main points here with Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey's seeking a contract, but when you get him, you basically have him for 2 years. You basically have him for this season, and he also has a 5th-year option. And then after the fifth-year option, if you choose to, you can franchise tag him. So you could potentially have him for 3 years before you actually give him a contract extension. Number 2, I just want to go over this list right here. I have this list in front of me. Notable number 1 receivers against the Philadelphia Eagles secondary. These are stats since week 1 of last season. Amari Cooper, 10 catches for 217 yards and 3 touchdowns. Michael Thomas, these are 2 separate games, 12 receptions, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 receptions for 92 yards and another touchdown. Julio, 10 for 169 and 5 for 106 and 2 TDs. Corey Davis, 9 for 161 and 1 TD. Allen Robinson, 10 for 143 and a touchdown. Adam Thielen, 7 for 116 and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 10 for 91. DeAndre Hopkins, 9 for 104. Mike Evans, 10 for 83 and 1 touchdown. And Terry McLaurin, 5 for 125 and 1 touchdown. Haven't had a good corner since Asante Samuel, like you said. Sidney Jones made some he made some good plays on Sunday night. Rasul Douglas made some good plays on Sunday night. But the point is, we don't have like a true number one corner. I think some of these guys would be okay, you know. I think some of these guys would be okay if they just had to guard like the number two receiver. Like if we had Sidney Jones or Sewell Douglas on or Ronald Darby on Mohamed Sanu, then it probably wouldn't be so bad. It probably wouldn't be so bad. But when you're asking all these guys to guard the best receivers in the league, it's a problem. And we've been getting torched. That's just in the last year. We know good and damn well that it's been worse like that over the years. So I don't give a shit what you got to do to get Jalen Ramsey over here. I really don't. I really don't. The Eagles are not giving up to first yet,
No.
but and they probably won't. But their offer, I think the Eagles were the NFC team involved in this trade. It was the first report said an NFC team and an AFC team were involved. The AFC team offered a first and a player, and that was the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Eagles offered a first and a fifth. And then there's a couple other teams that have been in the mix since then, such as Seattle. But I just don't know. I just looking at trades throughout this offseason, I don't know if the Jaguars in the end are going to trade within conference. I just don't see teams trading within conference. It hasn't happened this offseason. Frank Clark was a big blockbuster trade with Kansas City coming over from Seattle. They traded him to the AFC. Clowney, we kept talking about Clowney for like weeks. And Clowney, he ended up going from the Texans. He's in the NFC now. Is Ramsey going to stay in the AFC or would they would probably prefer to send him to the if I had to guess, I think they would prefer to send him either to us or Seattle. So does it come down to can the Eagles give him more than Seattle can? I think we can. I think Howie Roseman can make this trade, and we're just gonna have to wait this shit out. But the writing's right there on the wall. This can totally change our defense. I hope we do it. I don't give a fuck what we have to give up. Get him here, and yeah.
You're giving up a first round pick, but you're not giving up a first round pick saying, I hope this works out. You're not exactly doing that. You know what you're getting. You know what you're getting, okay? Yeah. And Howie's not going to be fleecing anybody in this trade. Like, this is the real deal of a player that you're getting here, okay? This is something you're not just getting a guy that's just some average corner that's done well around the league. You're getting a guy, still on his rookie deal, expecting to get paid, and this guy it's check the box on everything that he has as a cornerback. It's just you can't ignore it, okay? It's not even just Jalen Ramsey, but the Eagles should at least do something for that position. I mean, if it's not Jalen Ramsey, then it's somebody. Xavier Howard's another guy. Talked about him. He put on Twitter
the Will
Smith thing, looking around an empty room because there's nobody in Miami. Everyone's leaving in Miami. So Xavier Howard, he actually just got a new deal, I think a year ago or 2 years. I forgot when he got the deal. But he's one of the best corners of the league as well. And you could go after him. I mean, if it's not now, I know Jalen Ramsey is going to get traded before the trade deadline. And all the rumors right now is he's going to play Thursday night against the Titans. And then after that, apparently there's supposed to be a deal in place by Friday. By Friday, they want to get rid of him. Apparently that's what's going to happen by Friday, or maybe not. But from what I'm hearing right now, Friday is going to be the day when he gets traded. Now, like you said, trade within the conference, I don't know. And that is a big if that's the case. We were talking about earlier, too, the Kansas City Chiefs, between the Frank Clark trade and all these other draft picks they've given up and all these people they've given up. I just can't I mean, they're going all in this year. They're going all in this year. And that's a team that needs to beat the Patriots this year. And they know they're going to get killed, by Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon. The receivers are loaded. in New England right now. So they need a corner to, get to that spot,
Yep.
at least defend one of these, these top guys in that game. The Seattle Seahawks, I guess I could see that just because, number one, they're in the NFC. Number two, they really don't have anybody like, that after Legion of Boom, has been gone, and the defensive line is gone. Bennett's gone. Clark's gone. Like Sherman's gone. Just all these guys
Earl
are
Thomas.
gone. Earl Thomas, everybody's gone. So they need a star on that defense. They don't have anybody a star at corner position, but the Philadelphia Eagles, if Howie just pushes it a little bit, sometimes you got to eat shit. Sometimes you got to eat shit to get what you want. I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
it's just the way it is because
I
I see
mean,
too many Eagles fans saying he's going to be too expensive. So what are we going to do? Are we going to do this all the time? Or are we just going to make sure that our defensive line is we're gonna get as much depth on the defensive line as possible. Maybe times are changing, and like I said before, Minkah Fitzpatrick was the Eagles were interested in Minkah Fitzpatrick, but so far right now, this is a lot better than getting Minkah Fitzpatrick. Would you pay a first round pick for Minkah Fitzpatrick, or would you pay a first round pick and a little bit more, a little bit extra for Jalen Ramsey?
hell yeah, I would. But this is what I want to bring up. The same exact shit happened a few years ago when the Bears got Khalil Mack. The Bears gave up 2 first-round picks. I would have gave up 2 first-round picks for Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack is the best player probably off the edge in the league, and they got him, and he's a fucking nightmare. Even though Jason Peters shut his ass down, we'll just leave that there. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the main point is scared money don't win no money, if you know what I mean. So if you're a really good team, I'm not saying first round picks are not important like at all. We've had good first round picks. Andre Dillard is a good first round pick. Also Derek Barnett. Those are pretty much our last 2 good first round picks. But, when you're this good, when you're this talented, and when you're trying to win right now, first round picks are not that damn important. And if you can get the best corner in the NFL, just giving up your next 2 first round picks, I'm down with it because getting a player in the first round will make us a better team, but it won't make us this much of a better team. And I've read the whole damn list of receivers that's been shredding us since last season. And the time has come, bro. It's time to invest in this position. And I really want to see this trade happen.
I'm seeing like even comments about like it's funny how that we would try to at least get this deal done, giving 2 first round picks. It's like if we knew this year that we were going to be winning this year, just say because this season could turn around. This season could turn around,
Absolutely.
and I know it's going to turn around because it's just of what we're in right now, a little bit of a hole right now, but.
How you start, it's how you finish.
Exactly, because sometimes teams get hot too early and then they kind of weaken up by the end of the year. Sometimes teams get hot in the middle of the year. We got hot pretty much almost in the middle, quarter to the middle of the year, whatever. You look at, if we're with that first round pick, if we were expecting to have a top 10 pick this year, then yeah, we probably wouldn't even do this, but to get rid of this first round pick, while we know down the road we're going to be winning football games down the road and a lot of football games this year down the road, okay? You're not going to find a corner, and it's a dime a dozen. What was Richard Sherman? A 5th round pick? I don't even remember. What was it? 4th round? I forgot. 4th or 5th round?
I think he was like 5th.
5th round pick, whatever. You don't find those guys. Like, why would there's people here saying, why would you give up 2 first round picks if you just go in the draft? Like, there are guys in the draft, corner
There's no
wise, that
one
aren't
in the
even
draft.
doing well right now. Like, DeAndre Baker was probably one guy I thought he would have been a good corner in this league, and he plays for the Giants right now. Guy cannot cover for shit. You can't, unless you're getting a top 10 talent. Maybe with Sidney Jones, we just got unlucky. Maybe without that injury, maybe he would have been a different player coming into his first year.
Yeah.
Maybe. You never know. That's why the draft is a gamble. Free agency is definitely a gamble because you're putting a lot of money into somebody to make promise of what his skill set is and what he could do for your football team. But you know, you can't. You got to take risks. You don't take
Yeah,
risks, you're
exactly.
not going to win championships. That's just the way it is. You
Exactly.
know what? Earlier, I think it was 2 days ago, when I heard the news about Jalen Ramsey requesting a trade a couple days ago, I said to myself, "Nah, this isn't going to work out because he's going to be too expensive." And I was thinking about all that, and then
Yep.
me and you talked about it, and you were pretty much discussing how we've ignored the position. We got to put money into this position. You know, you're not going to find a guy like Jalen Ramsey in the draft. And like I said just before, unless we know we're tanking this year and we're going to have a top 10 pick, there's no point to keep this first round pick if that's the case. There's no point at all. Just think about it. And I even said this to you earlier today too. We're pretty much set at some positions for the next few years. Offensive line
Yeah.
is fine for the next few years. Brandon Graham and Derek Barnett, all these guys, we're fine. Okay, we're fine. Malik Jackson will be
Yeah.
back next year. We'll be fine. So that first round pick is not going to mean much to us later on. You're going to get an extra third round pick for Nick Foles. You're going to get an extra fourth round pick for Golden Tate, hopefully when he plays a certain amount of snaps.
Yep.
So I'm not even you let Jordan Howard go. You get a fifth round. I think you get a fifth. I think whatever it is. I think an extra fifth rounder this year. Another comp pick. The Eagles are going to have 3 comp picks next year. Hopefully, I'm guaranteeing 2, but hopefully 3. So really,
Yeah.
at this point, like you're going to have all your wide receivers next year. What are you really going to need next year? Besides,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I was just gonna say teams drafting well is very important because you're not going to build a really good team unless you're not going to build a really good team through just like being like mad at and signing everybody in free agency. You got to make good moves in free agency and you have to have good draft picks. But when you get to the point where you're as good of a team as the Philadelphia Eagles are, you know, you pretty much just plug guys in you don't have a lot of holes. So you just like plug guys in here and there, and giving up first round picks is not going to be as big of a blow as people seem to think it is. People freak out when you hear, oh, multiple first round picks. They freak out about it, but I just don't think it's something to be freaked out about. It's like you said, draft picks could be anything, but Jalen Ramsey is Jalen Ramsey. So it reminds me of this episode of Family Guy where Peter on some game show or something, and he's like, well, you could have $1 million, but you could have what's behind curtain number 1. And he's like, well, the $1 million is $1 million, but curtain number 1 could be anything. So like a dumbass, he takes curtain number 1 and he basically gets nothing. So the draft picks are curtain number 1, $1 million is Jalen Ramsey. Which one would you take? I would take the $1 million,
Yeah, but
I would be good.
yeah, no, I understand that, but half the people are saying that you'd rather go into the draft because it's cheaper to go into the draft, and but we're not going to have a top 10 pick next year.
Yeah,
So
we're
unless
not
we're
gonna get we're gonna
unless,
make all these draft videos in off season about this corner and this corner and like, oh, he's the shutdown corner of the draft, blah 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 blah. Guess what? He's gonna be off the damn board by well before we pick. Like the guy we kept talking about this past year was Devin Bush, and we were like, man, the Eagles haven't had a linebacker in a long ass time, man. What would it be like if we got Devin Bush? Top 10 pick, gone. Talked about Christian Wilkins, top 15 pick, gone. So
who was the other linebacker that went to Pittsburgh? The other guy from Michigan?
that was Devin Bush.
Oh, Devin Bush. Who was the other
Devin
one that
White
went
went
to
to the
Tampa?
Buccaneers.
Who went to Tampa? Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
from LSU, but
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I'm saying. So the Eagles, like, they had their eyes on all these guys, and then they finally said, you know what? We ain't gonna let anybody else take our guy from us. So we're gonna jump in front of Houston and take Andre Dillard. So, but my point is, the guys that we really, really, really want, we're too good. That we're so good that we're probably not gonna be able to get them. So that's why I just say, fuck those picks. Give me the best corner in the NFL so he can come into this defense and take away the entire side of the field. This is what I keep saying about like the secondary. With our corners, we always have to have safety help all the time. And what we need is like a number one defensive back who can take care of his man. And that way we can roll coverage to other places of the field. We're not able to do that because Malcolm Jenkins, Rodney McLeod, Andrew Steo, they're always having to be there for Ronald Darby to save his ass. And if we had a corner that didn't need to get his ass saved on every play, it would make a huge difference. Get Jalen Ramsey over here. I'm down with it. Don't give a fuck what we have to give up.
It goes hand in hand on defense because if the corners cover well, D-line has more time to get sacks. And I've already reading some of this in the comment section already too, which is true. And it's hand in hand, both sides. It's hand in hand, both sides. You get pressure, it's easy for the corners. They don't have to cover as long. They don't get beat on those those routes that get developed. And that's what the problem is. We've had no pass rush the past 2 weeks, really, barely. Okay, the first game maybe against the Redskins, yeah, but even in this game against the Falcons, it was there at times, almost had it, but I didn't see a collapse of the pocket. I didn't see a swarm. I saw a pressure, but an uneven pressure where the quarterback, Matt Ryan would be out to escape. It'd be easy to escape and throw a nice pass. You know what I mean? But at this time right now, do you think, really inside your mind right now, we know what the Eagles should do. Do you think that Jalen Ramsey will be with another team? Do you think the Eagles will do you honestly think that the Eagles will actually sign him?
Yeah, I do. I honestly do. I mean, it's like I said earlier, I don't think they want to, unless the only way is if the Chiefs really have like so much more value they can give up in a trade than we can. That's the only way I see it happening. But I don't see it happening. The Chiefs are in a weird situation with they've given up draft picks. They haven't given up like they still have a first round pick this year, but they don't have a second. So they trade their first, and they're not picking until the third round, basically. Second of all, like Patty Mahomes is a gangster, and he's going to get paid $200 million. They have guys on their team, they got to take care of before they can think about taking care of Jalen Ramsey. Another guy's Chris Jones, their defensive tackle. He's going to get a big time check. If the Chiefs don't give him one, someone else will. So they got to take care of their guys, and I just don't see how they're going to be able to make everything work. But Howie Roseman has proven to me that he can make this shit work. One way or another, he can make this shit work. So I really think we're gonna get him. I didn't really feel like we were gonna get Clowney. I really didn't feel like we were gonna get Fitzpatrick. I just felt like, what if we got them? Our defense would be better. But for this, there's just like a weird feeling that I'm like, some shit is going to go down this weekend. And I'm ready for it. That's just how I feel. What about you?
I don't know. My inside feeling is that the Eagles are going to pass up on this just because they're going to be the Eagles and not do it. I think of the Eagles picking up the phone, making the phone call, and hanging up, and the report saying the Eagles were interested. That's all I think of. When you hear the Eagles are interested, it means that there was a phone call. It doesn't even mean that anything was even happening. But
yep.
I could be wrong. I want to believe it's not, so it could happen in like a stupid way.
Yeah.
But this would be a steal. This would be a total steal if we could get this done, and not even a steal because it's technically you're giving up you're giving up draft capital, and who knows if you give up assets or whatnot, but it's a steal for our franchise. Just getting that player, just getting Jalen Ramsey into an Eagles jersey, okay, and I don't think. What do you say? He's got pretty much this year, and then you could. He's got the 5th-year option, and then you pay that, and then you can franchise tag him. I don't think so because I don't think that they're going to give up a first-round pick and whatever else to not extend him. I
Yeah.
think they would want to extend him and make him, give him a long-term contract. But from what they're getting, and a player, what he could do and what he could do by himself against the top receivers of the league. There's not that many corners that could do that. We all know this. And I don't know. We're just going to have to see. But keep your eyes out Thursday night to see if he's – the one thing we have to look out for is Thursday night if he's actually playing. Now, apparently he's supposed to be playing. But if he's playing, he could still get traded the next day. You never know. But if there is something in place and he's not playing and he's sitting out, expect him to get traded the next day.
Oh yeah.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. Because if he plays this week, he probably, I don't know if by rules he could play next week. Probably not because he just played a game on Thursday. So he was going to play a game on Sunday for a team that has a game on Sunday. If he is not in, if the team, just say the Eagles call and say, hey, we want this to happen. And then they say, okay, well, the deal is done. But the Eagles say, I don't want him to play Thursday, if that's okay. I don't know if that's up to them for that to happen or whatnot. We want him. We want to play him. So we want to play him Sunday. So if we appreciate if you do not play him on Thursday, blah blah blah. It's going to be too much because it's not going to happen. There's no way a player is going to play Thursday night and then play Sunday.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No. So I think he'll get traded regardless whether he's playing or he's not playing. But if he's definitely not playing, then something is definitely brewing. Something's already in place.
If we do get him, let's say we were to trade for him on Friday, he would not be eligible to play against the Detroit Lions. He would not be able to play until the Thursday game. I also like you said, if you call the team and it's a done deal and everything, and just say, well, I'd appreciate it if you didn't let him play on Thursday. I don't think we would have to necessarily do that because I just don't see Jacksonville playing him at all. Like he will dress for the game probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they will let him play just because of risk of injury and that because if he gets injured, it's going to fuck up, possibly getting really really high compensation. So that's pretty much where we're at with that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing too. Like you just said, like he could get dressed, but if he's not in the starting lineup, then that's another sign as well. So it doesn't have to not be dressed, but hey,
Just gonna have to keep your eyes on that game on Thursday.
It's going to be a big win if the Eagles could pull this off. But if they were interested, I could say this over and over again. If they were interested in Minka Fitzpatrick, if they were interested enough and maybe heard the news that Jalen Ramsey or whatever the hell is going on, Jalen Ramsey requested a trade. Now they should have more interest than ever. They should have more interest, and the Eagles know they're going to have to give up a first round pick. I mean, that's just the obvious. That's just obviously what are you going to do? I don't see the Kansas City Chiefs not only trading within I don't see the Jaguars trading to the within the conference, but at the same time, like, are the Chiefs really going to give up some star player? Are the Chiefs really going to give up somebody that's like?
What the hell are they going to do? Trade Tyreek Hill?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are they going to trade? Because honestly, like I said, like the Jags need more on the offensive line. They need an outside linebacker. They're pretty much good on the D line this year, but They're going to need a safety. They need some positions, but as of right now, I don't see
Exactly.
much. I don't see anything from Kansas City going there that's too valuable. I see extra draft picks, whatever draft picks they have left. I mean, at this point, it's just
The
like,
only way I see the Chiefs getting this done is if they give up maybe 3 first-round picks. I think that's like as how far they would have to push it, because they ain't giving up Tyreek Hill, they ain't giving up any of their good players, they ain't giving up Chris Jones. Just signed Frank Clark to a big deal. They don't want to give up things that's going to lessen their chances of winning a Super Bowl. But I think the Eagles could get a deal in here. I think they could get a good deal together. I think the Eagles liked Minkah Fitzpatrick and they were interested in him, like you were saying. But I feel like the Eagles were like, Minkah's good, but
right.
first, really a first? You want a first for him?
Yeah, but
Nah.
for a slot guy though, that's what I'm saying. For a slot corner, for a nickel corner, like we already have that. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like the same thing happened last season with Amari Cooper. The Eagles were in on Amari Cooper, but they were like, we'll give you a second for him. And then Dallas was desperate enough to give him a first. And I'm pretty sure like the Eagles with certain players are like, yeah, they're good, but are they first round good? No. But they know Jalen Ramsey is first round good. So that's why I feel like they would be willing to risk it all.
Well, the difference is between Minka Fitzpatrick and Jalen Ramsey is that Minka Fitzpatrick's still on his rookie deal with 2 more years left. That's
Yeah.
the difference. So money is the difference. So giving up the first round with the Steelers could literally just borrow him, rent him for 2 years. And that's it, 2 more years. The rest of this year and 2 more years, and then they could say goodbye, see you later. But with Jalen Ramsey, you have an extension, that's got to be in plan. He's a rental the rest of the year, but he wants to go to a team where he is going to get signed, play for the rest of this year, and redo his contract. I mean, thank God he's not franchise tagged or any of this other crap. Otherwise, this would be a lot harder because then you'd have to rent him, and then hopefully he'd promise you that he would have to make a deal with you because he could do whatever the hell he wants when he's tagged. He could do whatever the hell he wants until he signs that franchise tender. But that we don't have to deal with that, thank God. So no franchise tender, none of that. Straight up has a year left and wants a promise that you're going to extend him. Are you going to be really pissed off if the Eagles get beat in this deal?
It depends. It really depends. Shit comes out after trades. Well, this team was interested, but this was their offer. If I find out that some team made like a shitty offer that we could have definitely beaten, then I'll be a little bit upset about it. But I'll get the fuck over it because I know at some point they're gonna have to fucking do something. If they don't get Ramsey, what I think they're gonna do is Arizona's a shitty ass team. Patrick Peterson is pretty much on a suspension until week 4, and then after that, I feel like the Eagles tried to get him last season as well. I think the Eagles will try to go after him. I don't think they're going to leave this fucking secondary alone. I mean, I don't think there's any way they can. I can't see him not doing something about it. If Ronald Darby keeps getting fucked week after week after week after week after week, there's more teams on our schedules that can kill us. This week we played Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones. Then we play Devontae Adams. We play Mark Cooper twice. We play fucking Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs. So are you just gonna leave this alone and ignore it? You cannot fucking ignore it. You have to do something about it, or it's gonna cost us. So that's pretty much what I have to say.
No, the frustration is fucking real. It is. It's pissing me off just talking about it because it's not going to get any easier. It's not. And are we just gonna? Is Jim Schwartz just gonna be like, oh, we're fine, we're good?
No.
We're not good. We're not. You lost Malik Jackson and Tim Jernigan. I mean, you're not good right now. It's not good. You can't. The teams are doubling on Fletcher Cox and what Hassan Ridgeway. What is he gonna do? Again, he's not gonna pass rush against the run. He's great,
Ain't gonna do shit.
but that's it. Who? What? Bruce Hector? Who else?
We have
Who
no
else is
other
gonna
choice
do
but to
anything?
like keep blitzing like we did the other night. And we can't fucking what the fuck are we gonna do? Blitz every play? We can't do that.
It's picket fence or blitz, and that's all they're gonna fucking do the whole game. I honestly think, dude, to be honest with you, the Eagles could lose these next two games.
They
It could
could.
happen. They could lose both of these games.
They could.
And is it really going to is it really going to have to take that? Is it going to have to take us losing more games for them to make a friggin' move? Because I can't believe we're even talking about this. This shouldn't have even fucking happened. Period. Unfortunately, this injury bug that just happened in one fucking night. I tried after that game, like after we talked about it, we streamed, like I felt good after that. I was like, all right, we're fine, whatever. I just need to win one of these games next week. At least Sunday. At least
Yeah.
win that game Sunday. Because I'm telling you right now, that Philly crowd, oh shit, this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be crazy. So I'm hoping that Ortega-Whiteside got some reps. I'm hoping I'm just hoping that it's a lot better because, like I said earlier, when all those guys just dropped out of the game, Doug was like, "Holy shit, we need to figure something out here with these plays because there was no, Mac Hollins. How much does Mac Hollins got reps? But you know what? The guy has started. He has a lot of starting experience. JJ Arcega-Whiteside has not started a regular season game.
No, he
Really,
didn't know what the fuck he was doing out there at all.
he's been into block during that Redskins play when Miles Sanders had the 19-yard touchdown, but which was called back. But
Which was not a hold.
which was not a hold.
No league offices.
Right. So we could lose both of these games. And you know what?
We could.
This is probably the worst year in injuries I've seen throughout the whole entire league. Cam Newton's out. Ben's out, torn ligament in his elbow. Ben Roethlisberger's out the whole entire year. I mean,
Drew
it's just
Brees out for
crazy.
6 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks for Drew Brees. I mean, it's bad. I mean, it's so bad that the Saints are actually going to be using two quarterbacks on Sunday. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, and he could be a receiver too because we've seen him in the mix last year in the playoffs. We saw him in the mix. Yeah.
It's the play that turned the tide.
So as of right now, like it's crunch. I'm just happy that this game is home on Sunday. I'm just happy it's home because
it would not be good to go on the road.
No, I'm glad it's home and it's in front of the crowd, and it'll be a little bit more intense, but maybe we'll see a different team on Sunday. We need to start, and this would probably be good too for the rest of the season. Our guys come back. Arcega-Whiteside has got a lot of reps. These other guys in the backup role for these receivers have gotten a lot of reps. So this is a good thing for JJ Arcega-Whiteside too, because you know what? Once Alshon Jeffrey leaves, this is our possession receiver. This is going to be our intermediate route receiver and JJ Arcega-Whiteside. So this is probably just going to be all good for him.
Yeah, I just think, Detroit Lions are probably going in this game thinking, no Deshaun, no Alshon, and you got a rookie out there. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is a rookie receiver. So what I think is going to happen is JJ is going to surprise this defense, and they're going to bring up a lot of guys in the box, and they're going to be focused on shutting down Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard. And I actually think Carson Wentz is going to be able to do some things in the passing game. And like I said earlier, I think JJ is going to make some plays. I think he's going to look a lot better than he did on Sunday. But the big thing is the Detroit Lions linebackers cannot cover Zach Ertz at all. So I think Zach Ertz could have a big ass game attacking the middle of the Detroit Lions defense. So we could be 1-3 after 4 games, but I don't think that we will. I think we will go. I think we'll go 2-2. You know, it's going to be hard to beat Green Bay, but you know, we'll have to play really above our heads to win that fucking game. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you know, we're more than likely the game's on the road. It's prime time. Packers are fully healthy. We're not. The odds are very much stacked against us. Not impossible, but it's very much stacked against us. And then this game, we're home. We have the crowd on our side. People are pissed off. You know, just watching the videos of all the players walking in the locker room, everybody's pissed off about that shit that happened. Like, we should have won the game, and we didn't. So I think they're going to come locked in and focused and motivated. And, you know, this is J.J. Arcega-Whiteside's turn to rise to the occasion. I keep saying this, but last season it was all the defensive back injuries. And then Crayvon LeBlanc and Avonte Maddox were the two that rose to the occasion. And now the receiving core is decimated, and now JJ and Mac, these are the guys that must rise to the occasion. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle this challenge.
Yeah, it's gonna be. We're gonna see. You know, we're gonna see. What's gonna happen here is this is really important. It really is. And like you said, rise to the occasion. We got to see. You know, JJ Arcega-Whiteside's going to get some reps, man. He's going to be a starting receiver on Sunday, and he knows it. And he knows he needs to showcase what he's got. And we all know he's very talented. Carson Wentz, it just has to get that chemistry where to throw that ball in a certain spot and just the way he plays. You know what I mean? Every player is different to get chemistry with. It's how you throw the ball. It's how you do a whole bunch of different things. But you know, we have to survive at least one of these games next week, and it's really gotta be Sunday. Like you said, it's gonna cost an arm and a damn leg to beat the Green Bay Packers. But you know what? You never know in this league what happens. You never know. You really don't. And it could change overnight. This team could win Sunday. This team could kill the Lions Sunday. You never even know. And then all of a sudden, who knows at this point what's gonna happen. But I'm good with what we have for Sunday. It is what it is. You know, we don't have Deshaun, no Alshon Jeffrey. It is what it is. Like, there's nothing we could do about it. We weren't expecting this to even happen, but need to run the ball and need to balance this offense out a little bit. We need to run the ball a lot more. We got no deep threat out there, so you know, because the Lions are going to be looking at our receivers saying, like, really, like. You know, we've got Aguilar, Ertz, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and that's really it. You know what I mean? It's just that's really it. That's all you really have out there. Matt Collins will get reps. I'm not really worried about Matt Collins too much because I know he's capable. I know Matt Collins is capable. Okay, and I wasn't even sure this year, but when he made a few plays on Sunday night, I said, okay, this guy, okay, he's almost coming back. I mean, it would be nice if Matt Collins would come back to his regular form. You know, it looks like he's coming off the injury really well, and he looks a lot more healthy, and he's making plays. So I can't really be upset at him at all because I'm glad we actually have him. But it's all eyes are going to be on J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. But like you said, like the linebackers for the Lions can't cover. Zach Ertz should have a monster day. And, you know, to be honest, personally, we need to beat the fucking Lions just for our sake because we've just had bad luck against the Lions. Not even that, but one guy that is in my head when I think about the Lions, he's not on the Lions anymore, but Theo Riddick, that guy killed us a lot of times.
Yeah.
Six touchdowns on us, easy.
Yep, I remember the last time the Lions played here. Or wait.
No, we were in Detroit, I think. Were we?
Yeah.
With the Ryan Matthews
we were in
fumble?
Detroit. I mean, we've had some bad looks with this fucking team. We played them on Thanksgiving one year, and they fucking murdered our ass. And then we lost a close game to them. Carson Wentz's rookie year, and then the team just pretty much, after we lost that game, we pretty much fucking fell apart after like a 3-1, 3-0 start. So, yeah, we need to get this fucking win, man. I really think we will. So, yeah, all we can do is get this win on Sunday and hope like some fucking miracle happens in Green Bay. If we somehow escape these injuries with 3-1, I'll be really fucking impressed.
Yeah, I will too. Honestly, a little nervous right now. There's a lot to look forward to. I want to see. First thing I want to see is before this game starts. I want to see if Jalen Ramsey gets actually traded. Period. I want to see if it actually happens. I want to see tomorrow night, and we'll definitely update you guys on what's going on in that game tomorrow. It is the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans tomorrow night. So should be something to watch and something to see if Jalen Ramsey is playing, not playing. We'll see if he's dressed and not playing. We'll see what happens with that. I'm not trying to make this whole entire live stream about Jalen Ramsey, but it's pretty damn important because as soon as
Yeah.
you see the Philadelphia Eagles name in trade talks, your eyebrow kind of goes up because obviously the Eagles need a corner badly, and after this year you still have the trade deadline. Right now you still have the trade deadline as well. So something else could transpire by that time as well. And then at the end of the year, by next year, Mills is going to be a free agent. Darby is definitely going to be gone. I'd be surprised if the Eagles actually keep him. Which I imagine if they kept his ass and signed him to another deal. Yeah, I'd flip
I
out.
don't think about that.
So we'll see what happens, but hey, it is what it is. But I don't know if you want to bring up anything else or whatnot. I'm pretty much set with what we're doing right now. I'm pretty much ready for Sunday.
Yeah, bro.
See what happens.
Yeah, I mean, one last thing I gotta say about this shit. It's gonna take a fucking miracle, and I mean a miracle, to beat fucking Green Bay. Listen, and I'm not even overlooking the fucking Lions game. The Lions game to be tough too, but we're fucking home. We should win that game. But I'm telling you, if it happens and we escape Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey's injury and go 3-1, and then we get like 10 days off before we play the fucking Jets, and then the Jets come into the link with God knows who their quarterback's going to be. I don't know who the fuck Sam Darnold has been making out with, but he may not fucking be there. We may be playing against Luke Falk.
Oh, I forgot Trevor Siemian got hurt. I totally forgot about
game.
that.
Yeah, they're down to like their third quarterback.
Hey.
So, I mean, that'll be huge. That'll be huge if that happens, but we need a lot of shit to go our way. Whew.
Yeah, we do. And it seems like the Dallas Cowboys as well. They face the Giants. They face two NFC East teams that are not very good in both teams, and now facing the Miami Dolphins this Sunday. So they're pretty much going to probably win that game as well, being 3-0. But like you said, their schedule is definitely going to get harder. And you know what? We need some help coming our way as well. And I think with the Jets having Darnold and their backup QB out, I think that will help a lot. And you know what? I think we just need to inch these two games out next week and wait till we can get this going, because we need some stuff to go our way right now, and we need to get these guys back. And depending on what happens with the trade rumors and all this stuff, we'll be monitoring all that, getting that information out to you guys. And by the way, I haven't talked about it, but if you guys haven't, please subscribe to Philly Jim's channel on YouTube. Covers the Sixers, covers the Eagles, of course, the Phillies. Really do appreciate it if you could sub to his channel. Really do appreciate it. Works hard at his channel, and we both work hard at our channel. So subscribe to both of us if you haven't, and like this video if you guys could. Really do appreciate it. We actually got our after game live stream last week to almost, I think, 800 views, which is awesome. I'm glad that a lot of people are actually watching. Not a bad crowd tonight either, guys. So I appreciate all you guys coming in during the week, whether you guys are still working or whether you're just sitting home, not really with nothing to do. Like I said, Philly Jim and I every Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. This is what we do, and I feel like it's getting a lot more busy. Even though if we don't get a lot of people, I feel like the comment section gets very busy as well, and guys are always
Yeah.
talking, which is a good sign. So I really do appreciate that too. But other than that, I'm pretty much good. I'm ready for Sunday. I'm ready to see if Jalen Ramsey is a Philadelphia Eagle by the end of this week. And if not, then it is what it is. I'll kind of feel down about it to see. You know what's crazy though? When you know how like we're interested in somebody and then we're like, oh, another team picks up a player that we want and then they end up giving away like nothing and we're like, why didn't we jump on that? You ever get like those feelings of like, why didn't we jump on that? Like that's all they gave them, that's it, we couldn't do that. I feel like it's going to be one of those, but absolutely, Howie Roseman's working the phones doing this thing. So this is going to be a hell of a week if something happens. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, we'll see. So if nothing else, I'm good.
That's pretty much it, bro.
All right. Well, we're gonna end the stream, and don't know if we're gonna have an after game stream yet. We'll let you know. Just look for the post notifications on YouTube, of course. Ring that bell on the channel so you guys know when the hell when it happens. Get the notification, and that's really it. So Joey Shake 72 and Philly Jim, we're headed out, and we'll see you guys in a few days.
See you then.
See you later. Shake's caught up, guys. Fly goes fly. Peace out.